Here we are. Outer Space Arcata Variety Hour. It is February 13th, 2022. It is a Sunday, just like we usually do. Bienvenidos. We're Los Perdidos. This song's called They Don't Stop, So We Don't Stop. Sunrise, so I know it's time I rise and I'll see the rivers flowing, so I roll along the mountain standing strong at your side. I stand strong. The wind it carries songs some I have known for so long. Oh. I want to live and love. I want to love and be free. I want to be free. Free from harm. I want to be free. In the streets, sisters and brothers, we're coming together for one another. With fists and signs up in the air, luchamos for what is fair, to live a life of dignity is all I want for you and me. But they don't stop, so we don't stop. No, we don't. I want to live and love. I want to love and be free. I want to be free. Free from fear. Quiero ser libre. We have the right to take a stand. The power's here in our hands. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Mujer nos da nuestra vida, parece que se les olvida, and they don't stop, so we don't stop. Oh. That's what I want. What do you want? Freedom in the real sense, right? That we can be anywhere we need to, anywhere we want to, without feeling like we're at risk of losing, well, our home, our family, our our health, even, right? Our way of being, so that we're able to live and continue to do stuff, right? I got a little thing I'm gonna tell you about what's happening tomorrow here locally and probably throughout the country, the United States of America, so they're called. But up next we have this video. It's a tiny desk video from, or no, maybe it's tiny. It's not a tiny desk. It is a tiny desk. It is a tiny video. I mean, a tiny desk. It's a tiny video. It's a tiny desk video from one of our new friends, I guess we would call him, right? Check it out. He's a Matthew Wallace. Yeah, Matthew Wallace. Thank you. Thanks for sending it in. I believe in you. There it is. I believe in you. That's Matthew Wallace. Like I say so every time. If you have a video of yourself playing, dancing, singing, whatever it is, just like that. If it's just you, if it's you and your friends, let us know. We'll totally share it. Every once in a while, we fish out there and ask our friends if it's okay to share some stuff. And here's something that, after that palate cleanser, I'm about to read to you about what I was mentioning earlier. So, tomorrow is February 14th. And well, it's gonna be a day without an immigrant, without immigrants, let's say. So here's a press release from Centro del Pueblo and what's happening tomorrow. Just a little bit about it, right? Immigrants across Northern California, the Bay Area, join national call for the Day Without Immigrants, where we won't work, won't go to school, or buy on this Valentine's Day. Hundreds will converge at the San Francisco Federal Building to remind President Biden and Vice President Harris that they have not kept their promise to provide a path to citizenship for the undocumented. That's right, we care about that kind of stuff here, so don't forget. On Monday, February 14th at 12 p.m., immigrant and indigenous communities from all cities across Northern California, including Humboldt County, San Francisco, Sonoma County, Sacramento, and Gilroy, won't go to work, school, or shopping, and will protest to hold President Biden and Vice President Harris accountable for their lack of progress in their path to citizenship in the Build Back Better bill, currently held up in the U.S. Senate, right? We will meet in Old Town Gazebo, if you know where that's at. That's on F Street in 2nd and Eureka. We'll be meeting there at noon, and then we'll be marching towards the courthouse, 12:30. And here's some things that some of the folks who've been organizing this have to say, right? It's really only 2 more senators vote yes on the Build Back Better bill so that our community may apply for legal status. That's Socorro Diaz, one of the leaders with immigrant and indigenous women's group called Almas out in the Bay Area at the Grayton Labor Center. Millions of community members would qualify for basic benefits during disasters such as COVID, right? We're still in it. We would suffer less exploitation at work and wouldn't have to live in the constant fear of being forcibly separated from our families. When there is political will, the federal government finds ways to pass legislation, even when it's controversial, says Guillermina Castellanos, the co-director of La Colectiva and San Francisco Day Labor Program. We helped Biden and Harris get into office, so now we deserve to receive what they promised, a just immigration reform. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the Build Back Better bill, where it includes the opportunity for undocumented to apply for temporary parole status if they've lived in the U.S. before January 1st, 2011, right? This bill is currently pending in the Senate and only needs support of 2 more Democratic senators. That's Manchin of West Virginia and Sinema of Arizona. We're hoping that we can convince them by doing this, because that's what's going to be across the country tomorrow in different various places. You'll be seeing it in the Bay Area, and you'll see it out here. So as a part of Day Without Immigrants, various cities are also planning actions like San Jose, Chicago, cities in Texas, and Washington, D.C., just like I said. So just so you know who's out here supporting, the Northern California organizations who support general strike and protest at the federal building include Centro del Pueblo, that's here in Humboldt County, Almas Grayton Day Labor Center, La Colectiva San Francisco Day Labor Program, Raíces Collective, Mujeres Unidas y Activas, Comité Vida, North Bay Organizing Project, and Immigrant and Indigenous Women's Societies of Sonoma County, and many, many others. So if you are at a place where you're able to not go to work tomorrow and not go out shopping and not send your kids to school, if that's where you are, do join us in solidarity, because I think that it's been very much time for this to happen, for this to change. Too many people are still living in fear every day just because of a paper that they don't have, right? That gives them permission to move through this place a little more easy, to walk around towns with each other and be able to enjoy each other's presence in a much more like free way. And well, up next we got this video, something we worked on with our friend here from Think Tank Marina. I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything, but we got a video next just about that, being able to walk around this town with y'all. Stick around. We got some more stuff coming up.
It's not friendship wins, I just realized. It's friendship won.
hot mic on a not so hot mic stand that is falling apart. Hey y'all. So that was a song that I recorded on Wednesday with Sean and Julio, and it was really fun. We, I think the take that we used as the bass part was like us playing the song together for the second or third time ever. Okay, so I'm gonna kill some time before hopefully some more friends show up on the show. Oh, there we go. I gotta turn that up. So, as I think I've talked about before on this show, I'm also an immigrant. I'm from the country currently known as Russia, which was formerly known as the USSR. That was the country that I was born into. It doesn't exist anymore. It fell apart when I was 6. And by fell apart, I mean probably a lot of other countries that were bundled into the USSR gained a level of independence. But back when it was the USSR, it was a communist country with very rigorous standards of what is it called? Censorship. And one of the weird places where censorship was often kind of a little more laissez-faire was in kids' animation. So a lot of very strong political messages were snuck into kids' animation, which was also a huge industry in the Soviet Union. And this is a song from a Russian animated version of The Musicians of Bremen, which is a fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen, I think, about a bunch of animals that are being mistreated by, their owners or being taken advantage of by their farmers, and they run away together and form a band and go to Bremen. And then become a hit band of just like a dog and a donkey and a rooster and some guy they run into. And then there's somehow a princess involved, and I don't remember what happens there. But this is a song that the guy that gets into the band sings to the princess who's locked in a tower. And I feel like it's a song that just channels this longing for no borders and no walls. So I'll tell you what it means after I sing it. Луч солнца золотого тьмы скрыла пелена, и между нами снова вдруг выросла стена. Ночь пройдет, наступит утро ясное. Знаю, счастье нас с тобой ждет. Ночь пройдет, пройдет пора, ненастное солнце взойдет. Солнце взойдет. Петь птицы перестали, свет звезд коснулся крыш. час грусти и печали ты голос мой услышь. Ночь пройдет, наступит утро ясное. Знаю, счастье нас с тобой ждет. Ночь пройдет, пройдет пора, ненастное солнце взойдет. Солнце взойдет. Солнце взойдет. A golden ray of sun is covered by a dark wisp of cloud. And once again, suddenly, a wall has grown between us. It's a metaphor. The night will pass. A bright morning will come. I know that happiness awaits us. The night will pass. The dark times will pass. The sun will rise. The sun will rise again. Do we have friends ready to go yet? Oh no. Mm-hmm. Well, dial in somebody. The number is 188 Variety Hour. Just give us a call, and you also will be on the show live. Do we have another video we can share? Okay, there's just stuff happening in the background. Sorry, I'm just standing on camera. Cool. Okay. Behind that scenes action, Sean is pulling up YouTube. Mystery. What are we going to watch? This is what we do now. We just pull up YouTube. We take a look. And okay, now Sean is opening his email. This is exciting because I can't really hear what they're saying, so I'm just following along with what's happening on screen. Okay, now we're back to YouTube. Okay, and I just heard something Humboldt being said. January 11th? Okay. Things are gonna happen. Okay. Now we're scrolling down. Oh, here we go. Video. No? Yes. I have no idea what they're about to play. Oh, an interview with Centro de Pueblo on Headline Humboldt. Great.
I think their intro is kind of grotesquely long.
There's a grotesquely long intro. Oh, we're not sharing it yet. Oh my gosh, I'm still just relaying scraps overhearing. I guess I could take these off. Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's not like I can read it. Yeah, I don't have my glasses or, yeah, okay. Yeah. No, it's not being shared now? Oh, I don't. it being shared now? Cool. All right.
Coming up next on Headline Humboldt, activists across the state and nation will use Valentine's Day to demonstrate just how vital immigrants are to American society and economics, and they'll do so by simply not taking part. And Humboldt County growers get help from the Board of Supervisors, who voted this week to partially suspend Measure S, even though that revenue reduction might squeeze county budgets in the meantime. Coming up now on Headline Humboldt. Live from the top of Humboldt Hill, this is Headline Humboldt. I'm James Falk. Thanks for joining us. In times of strife and division, no matter where you are in the world, people start to focus more on differences than what they all have in common. They hunker down into smaller and smaller in-groups, disparate tribes, and they look for people to blame. This is a truism of humanity and one we've seen play out over and over on all 6 settled continents in every era that we can remember. Recently, of course, there's been an explosion of crises across the world, a faltering situation that has been exacerbated by climate change and an increasingly lopsided economic system that concentrates wealth amongst a select few. Rather than direct our ire and resentment toward the elite, our culture and media have too often fostered a system that makes heroes out of billionaires and blames every pothole and petty crime on the poorest newcomers around, immigrants who've come here to seek out a better way of life. The irony here is rich. Immigrants have built and shaped this country from the beginning, from originally settling vast portions of the West and risking their lives to build the Transcontinental Railroad to propping up whole industries with their work ethic and cheap labor. They also refreshed the spirit of our country by supplying, in each generation, an onslaught of fresh believers in the American dream who want to work, want to succeed, and want to become a part of this rich tapestry nation. They actually represent the same spirit and tradition that made this country great in the first place. The idea that every person deserves a right to make themselves a quality life of security and satisfaction. And they also provide much of the torque that makes our economic engine so powerful. In addition to their hard work and comparatively low wages, they also pay taxes and spend their money within this economy. That's why on Monday, Valentine's Day, activists and immigrants across the country will attempt to make their influence more obvious by opting out, by not showing up to work and not spending money so that the country might appreciate what they bring to our society. Executive Director Brenda Perez and community leader Julia Najira from Centro del Pueblo join us tonight to talk about that effort and the marches that are scheduled across America to underline the point. Thank you, Julia and Brenda. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, James, for the invitation.
Yeah, no problem. So we'll start with you, Brenda. Can you describe for us what the event is going to look like and what it is you're trying to achieve with it?
The event is going to look like a historic event. We are going to remain the events in the 80s when Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez were organized to have this status for us. And now this is the window that is opening to us for having a day without immigrants. It is a rally that is going to be preceded by a march, and we are going to have people taking care of themselves with masks, because remember, we are in a pandemic and we need to still take care of those aspects. And we're going to have this on the St. Valentine's Day, just to show our presence and to show our importance in this economy, in these local places.
Is there any relevance to the choice of Valentine's Day? Is there a statement being made there, or is that just a convenient date?
It is a statement, a national statement. So we are following the spirit of this national movement, but there is also this factor that this is a day where people spend a lot of money, and then we are going to show how is that the immigrants are contributing to this place just by saving some and by not going to work and by not going to school.
Yeah. Julia, we're working through a translator here, but just so I'll speak slowly so we can make sure that she can translate it well enough. Do you feel that the situation of immigrants in this country has improved since President Biden took office?
Y usted puede contestar en español. Okay. Cuando el gobierno entró y luego
I just thought I'd come in and mention something. Can you hear me? The audio might have been okay, Sean. Your adapter wasn't plugged in all the way because the audio sounded bad when I started listening to you all too, and then I plugged the adapter in all the way and it got fine. So we could try it again, because we cut it off right as a really cool person started talking. So we could pull it up again.
That's Julia Najera.
Let's just try again in case it was your adapter. Let's try it.
That's Julia Najera. From Oaxaca, Mexico. Mixteco speaker. Spanish and English as well, motherfuckers. Real strong community leader. Brenda Perez. Director of Centro del Pueblo.
By not going to work and by not going to school.
Julia, we're working through a translator here, but just so I'll speak slowly so we can make sure that she can translate it well enough. Do you feel that the situation of immigrants in this country has improved since President Biden took office?
Y usted puede contestar en español.
Okay. Cuando el gobierno entró y luego él prometió que va a dar este papel a todos los inmigrantes y todos estamos muy contentos porque cuando el gobierno entró y estamos bien contentos, estamos bien felices a todos esperando eso porque es lo primero que él prometió que lo va a dar. Y entonces estamos esperando en eso, todos los inmigrantes estamos muy felices, muy contentos esperándolo. En eso cayó la pandemia. Entonces comenzó él a pedir vacuna de esos, más primero a parar eso. Y ahora él es el único que lo puede dar esa residencia y estamos esperándolo a todos, a todo eso.
Karen, can you translate that for us?
Of course. She says when the government started and Biden was chosen as as a president, all the people that are here that have been here for a while, all the immigrants have been really happy to be here and to feel supported. And so we supported him as well as he supported us. And so we've been waiting for this reform to happen. We've been waiting for an amnesty. And yet, once the pandemic started, we realized that a lot of the allocations of the resources have been put into the pandemic. And so now we're waiting that as the vaccine is here and that we're starting to settle down, that we're hoping that we can now start getting what we requested and what we supported him for, which is an amnesty or reform, immigration reform.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Brenda, I think part of what she's talking about, or something that she may be referencing, is the promise that was in the Build Back Better Act that would say for immigrants that were here prior to 2011, there would be an amnesty offered if Build Back Better got passed, but that's been hung up recently. What message would you like to send to the U.S. Senate or to President Biden about Build Back Better so that they can maybe move forward with momentum?
I want to say the politicians that we are so ready to have these work permits, this protection, this adjustment of status. We are ready to be an integral part with formal permissions. We are so eager to be recognized in our importance. We are so affected by a pandemic that we are just, thriving. In the middle of a pandemic, we are serving the food of this that this country consumes. So to all the politicians, to everybody that has this in his hands, we are ready to be recognized, acknowledged, and to have a humane immigration system. We deserve this. We have earned this.
Excellent. Julia, I mean, this is sort of a strange question, but there's been a lot of misinformation and a lot of rhetoric around immigrants over the past several years. Can you describe for us how it feels to sort of hear those, the innuendo and the negative rhetoric surrounding immigrants? How does that make you feel, and what would you like to see change?
Porque lo primero es que entró esta pandemia y allí es donde lo afectó muchos compañeros de inmigrantes, a todos el mundo. A general lo atacó. Entonces, eso él nos atacó a todos y muchos estábamos sin trabajo, no tenemos trabajo en este país, no estamos en nuestro país y no paga la renta, sino este país atacó la pandemia, pero la renta no espera. La renta tenemos que pagar. Sea lo que sea, tenemos que pagar la renta, a buscar cómo a pagar la renta. A veces quedamos sin comer para pagar lo primero la renta. Y sí, eso es un punto. Pero la más importante que eso pasa, pero también nosotros podemos. Lo más importante, estamos pidiendo la residencia al gobierno que nos escuche, porque nosotros somos trabajadores, somos inmigrantes, somos ilegales, pero somos trabajadores honradamente. Aquí en Estados Unidos tenemos que trabajar para comer. Si no trabajamos, no comemos. Y y mucha familia lo reportaron sus padres, se quedaron los hijos aquí esperando a sus padres y que haga la justicia para que puedan a reunir con su familia. Los niños esperan a sus padres. Ellos sueñan que sus padres que regresen en este país y lo es. Y nosotros como inmigrantes lo ayudamos. No ayudamos como a decir que a dar dinero acá, pero sí en este país trabajamos, aunque no tenemos papeles, pero sí reportamos, sí pagamos impuestos. A veces nosotros, muchos inmigrantes, no tenemos hijos y tenemos que pagar los impuestos. Nosotros lo quitan el seguro, lo quitan medical, lo quitan del Estado, lo quitan a los cheques. Entonces, otra vez cuando lo reportamos, eso al año, y tenemos que pagar $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 tenemos que pagar. Eso lo estamos pidiendo también, que nosotros, que vayan las cosas como que vaya muy bien, que nosotros necesitamos apoyos de ellos y ellos a nosotros, porque si nosotros no lo pueden a levantar las cosechas, a piscar fresa, a piscar todas las frutas, verdura. Nosotros somos los que lastiman las manos. Nosotros somos los que estamos en lodo. Nosotros somos los que subimos la escalera. Nosotros somos los que agachamos a levantarlos. Y necesitamos eso.
Wow.
So when the right after the pandemic, we were deeply affected. In general, we were attacked. We were out of jobs. We were out of our countries, and we still had to pay our bills, our rent. If we don't eat, we don't get to pay rent. And so what's more important is that we ask the presidency and we ask people to support us as we work, we are immigrants, but we work really hard to get what we have. And we don't work without, if we don't work, we don't get to eat, we don't get to pay rent. Sometimes we don't eat so that we can pay rent. We want justice. A lot of people have lost their parents. A lot of kids have lost their parents. They have lost their parents for being deported, and they're here by themselves, even though that they're documented. And we still pay for our taxes, even though we don't have papers. We pay for our taxes. We pay for everything that we get here. When our paychecks get taken off, we pay for services that we don't receive, such as healthcare, such as unemployment, such as things that we don't get. And so if we are here, we're working, and if we don't work, we don't get food. And so we don't get access to resources that other people do. We need to help each other, and we need to help each other in the way that we help you. We go in and we do a lot of agriculture. We provide for this country, and we're the ones who get our hands dirty. We're the ones who climb really big ladders in order to get things such as olives. We're the ones that get the calluses on our hands, and we work really hard to get these things, and yet we don't have access to plain rights that everybody else gets.
The emotion when she was talking was palpable. Brenda, is there any response you want to add to what she said?
Absolutely. We just passed a presidency that put us in the spot, that put us in a target. We live under fear, we live under attack. ICE was behind us all the time in hospitals, at the schools. So this feeling of coming in another administration with Biden give us some sort of relief. So the feeling of receive all these attacks is still a trauma that was generated. We are still healing from that when the pandemic came. What my sister just said with all the fair words is that we need a human system. We need to be humanized again, because we just been dehumanized before. And right now, it is time to correct that. It is time to be stronger together. It is time to have this act passed, and we are going to fight for it.
Amen. Brenda, one of the things that you mentioned it at the onset is that COVID is a factor in everything these days. And I know that the Hispanic community has been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about how that has also impacted your community and what it means now that we've gotten through the various stages and the vaccines are here? Do you feel like the government is doing enough to reach out to your community and make sure that people can stay healthy?
Thank you for that question. What we see every day in the work we do is that the balance is so polarized, like there is none. There is a complete extreme between our community, undocumented, and the community that receive every stimulus, every support, every attention. We don't receive anything, and yet, as Julia says, we pay the taxes. We feel like we are supporting this system. We feel like we are supporting all the vaccines, and we don't receive any type of help. So being affected by this pandemic is also being in presence of a lot of relatives that are dying. Here in Humboldt County, we can tell how many people, how many families have been affected by this racism at the hospitals, racism because we cough in the supermarket. So there is a mental thing happening because of all the racism, and there is also the economy is struggling, and then there is the unbalanced. And I think we need this act just to bring things in a better level. We want to be in the same level. We are equal human beings.
Yeah. And the act you're talking about, of course, is the Build Back Better Act, which is currently stalled, but there are people that are still actively fighting for it. And I think your event on Monday is meant to draw attention to that battle.
Calling it? Wanted to jam out to refresh, to give ourselves a moment of peace, of enjoyment, of music, of movement, of understanding. There's a lot going on all the time, all over the place, no matter what. And, well, you know, we get to make choices about the stuff we attend to. And, well, we also get to choose to rest. So that's us coming down here. It is Sunday night after all. Most of us have to follow the pattern that's been carved out so much. So if we get a chance to give ourselves that moment to rest, we must, because it's just as important as pretty much all the rest of it, honestly. So give yourself that. This is Outer Space Arcata Variety Hour. Thank you so much. We'll do it again next week.